In the Bible, there's a story in Mark chapter 4, verse 35 to 41. One day, when evening came, Jesus told his disciples to cross to the other side of the lake. So they left the crowd and took Jesus with them in a boat. There were other boats with them too. While they were sailing, a huge storm started. The wind was blowing fiercely, and the waves were crashing into their boat, causing it to fill with water. It was a terrifying situation. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Jesus was asleep at the back of the boat on a cushion. The disciples woke him up and said, "Teacher, don't you care that we're about to drown?" They were scared and thought they were going to die. But then Jesus got up and spoke to the wind and the sea, telling them to be calm and still. Immediately, the storm stopped, and everything became peaceful. He turned to his disciples and asked them, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were amazed and wondered who this person was that even the wind and sea obeyed him. This story teaches us a valuable lesson. Sometimes we face storms in our lives, not the kind with rain and thunder, but difficult and challenging times. During these storms, we might also wonder if God cares about our problems, just like the disciples did. We might question why these difficult situations are happening to us. I'm sure many of us have been in that place before. But the beautiful part of the story is that Jesus calmed the storm. He didn't let them drown. He showed them that no storm is too powerful for God. The strong winds and crashing waves may make us afraid, but Jesus is mightier. When we invite him into our lives, he can bring peace to our storms. Let's think about another story from the Bible, the story of Job. Job was a man who went through a terrible storm in his life. He lost his wealth, his children, and his health. His wife even told him to curse God and die. His friends thought he must have done something wrong to deserve all this suffering. But what did Job do? He held on to his faith, even when everything seemed to fall apart. He said, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Job didn't give up, and in the end, God blessed him even more than before. He got double for his trouble. Are you going through a storm right now? It might be a health issue, financial struggles, problems with your family, work, or even spiritual challenges. You can find comfort in the words of Psalm chapter 46, verse 1 to 3. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling. Just like the disciples called on Jesus when they were in the boat, you can call on him in your storm. Trust him, just like Job did during his troubles. Hold on to your faith even when everything seems to be falling apart. Keep believing in God's promises and his power to bring peace to your life. Now let's look at the story of Joseph. He was betrayed by his own brothers, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. He faced a storm that lasted for years, but he never gave up on his faith or the dream God gave him. He held on through the storm, and God eventually lifted him from prison to become a ruler in Egypt, second only to Pharaoh. Remember, God came through for Joseph, not in spite of the storm, but through it. And let's not forget Daniel. He was thrown into a den of lions because he wouldn't compromise his worship of God. He found himself in a literal storm, surrounded by fearsome beasts. But God shut the mouths of the lions, and Daniel was saved. He too rode out his storm and emerged unharmed. Just as God was with Joseph and Daniel in their storms, he is with you in yours. Remember what Deuteronomy chapter 31 verse 8 tells us. It is the Lord who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed. This promise can be your anchor in the middle of the storm. So, as you navigate through your storm, be strong in your faith and keep your eyes on Jesus, the one who can bring peace even in the midst of turmoil. God will come through for you. Your storm doesn't define you. It's how you respond to the storm that matters. Will you let the storm overwhelm you, or will you overcome the storm? With God on your side, you have the power to conquer any storm. In Romans chapter 8, verse 37, the Apostle Paul tells us that we are more than conquerors through Christ's love. Storms in life aren't meant to shatter us, but to shape us. They don't break us, but build us up. They don't stop us, but set us up for God's blessings. They don't defeat us, but develop us. Don't be a victim of your storms. Be a victor. Just like Peter walked on water when he kept his eyes on Jesus, your faith can bring you through the storm. God doesn't promise that there won't be storms in your life, but He does promise to be with you in the storm. He won't prevent the waves from hitting, but He will prevent them from overwhelming you. Isaiah chapter 43 verse 2 assures us, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you." So, hold on to your faith, and remember that you're not alone. God is the captain of your ship, and He will guide you safely to shore. Storms may come and go, but His presence remains constant. In conclusion, trust that God will come through for you. Claim His promise in Romans chapter 8 verse 28 that He works all things together for good for those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. Even in the midst of your storm, God is with you, ready to bring you through. These words can bring comfort and hope to others too. Sharing this message can help spread the blessings to more people. You are blessed to be a blessing to others.